is that maybe status plays a role in solving the collective action problem. And what am I talking about, this collective action problem? What is this? Well, the collective action problem is the problem of how it is that groups are able to mobilize individuals to make contributions to them, to the groups. And this is considered this big question. Like, why is it the case that people make self-sacrificial gestures or behaviors or contributions of time, money, effort to groups when, it doesn't pay, right? From a strictly self-interested, material self-interest perspective, from a sort of rational choice, homo economicus, economic man sort of perspective, they shouldn't do this, right? People should be selfish, and they shouldn't make self-sacrificial behaviors that benefit groups but are costly to themselves as individuals. So it's a puzzle, Why is it we do observe that people do make costly contributions to groups? So why do they do it? Let's try to get an answer to it. So we know that the strict self-interest perspective is wrong, but why is it wrong? And okay, so to elaborate a little bit more on the collective action problem, why is it that people contribute to collective action rather than just free riding on other people's contributions? And people talk a lot about the collective action problem because it's very interesting to sociologists. Like, when do people prioritize the group over the individual? Because there are a lot of situations where you act in your own self-interest and maybe don't help the group as much as you could, but when do you do it the other way? When do you help the group and give up your own benefit? So some examples of the collective action problem are as follows. And these are all situations where if people don't transcend their self-interest, if they don't give to the group, then the group is going to do worse, and all the individuals in the group will do worse than if they had just come together and given to the group. So one example is littering. Okay, so we all value, a litter-free world, a world with less pollution, and so on. We all want that, but then every one of us is probably tempted to be selfish and litter, and not hold on to our wrappers long enough to get to the trash can and so on. And so at an individual level, you're tempted not to make your contribution to the public good, to just, throw yourself away wherever you want to, wherever it's convenient to you, not expend time and effort throwing it away in the right place. But at the same time, you would value everybody else doing it. But what happens if everybody pursues their narrow self-interest and just throws trash wherever they wish, then we'll have a very ugly world, and we'll all be worse off than if we had just expended the effort to not litter. Also, public protest. You might like some protest, say an anti-war protest or an anti-discrimination protest, or maybe you're a union organizer and you're trying to organize a strike, or you're trying to organize a union to begin with. And you might want that protest and that collective action, that political organizing to be successful and be really big, but you yourself are tempted to stay home, right, and not go to the demonstration, not go to the rally on Saturday, and instead do something else like play Xbox or watch Independence Day, which is on every Saturday. So that's your temptation, right? You're tempted to do that, and what happens if everybody does that? What if everybody gives in to their selfish temptation and doesn't get to the group? Then that means nobody shows up to the demonstration. There is no anti-war rally. The media covers the anti-war rally for the first time because it's unsuccessful, and then you're worse off, everybody's worse off that values that anti-war rally than if they had just gone. Also charities. You like charities, right? Or you have certain charities that you value. Maybe pro-choice charities, maybe pro-life charities, maybe a church that you're a member of, maybe Hurricane Katrina relief or tsunami relief. And so you would like these charities to do very well. You like them to do well and get lots and lots of donations, or maybe a candidate that you support. But you yourself are tempted to take your money and spend it on Thai food, which is something that you enjoy because you're a smart person. So, but if you do that, if you don't spend your money on the charity and you spend it on just whatever you want for yourself, then what's going to happen is the charity, if everybody makes that same decision, then the charity doesn't prosper. The public good that it provides is never created, and everybody's worse off. We don't have Katrina relief efforts, we don't have tsunami relief efforts, and we could have. And everybody's worse off if they just contributed. Or a very, very pure example would be potlucks. Now, you all are probably young enough to where you don't go to potlucks every Saturday. I'm old enough to where that's all I do. It's one freaking potluck after another. It's something about turning 30. They're just like, hello, welcome to potluck land. And you're like, oh, lovely, I'll be cooking every Saturday morning until I die. And indeed, that's the world I'm in now. So with potlucks, I don't know if you know about this. I'll tell you, I'm not your informant in the potluck world. This is how it works, okay? In the potluck world, they invite you to dinner, but they're not going to give you dinner. You got to bring the dinner, right? It's a very clever system they have. And everybody is expected to do this. And whoever organizes this is kind of like, well, thank you for inviting me to dinner, because you don't get the dinner, you make the dinner. But the way it works is you bring a dish. I know you know what potluck is. But you bring a dish, and everybody else brings a dish, and then like two people show up and don't bring a dish, and everybody's like, those people really suck, And then you have a full dinner because you brought all your food together, and it's good. But what happens if everybody yields to their temptation, acts like those two guys that didn't bring their dish? What if nobody brings a dish, everybody shows up to potluck, there's no food to eat, everybody's worse off, and they go home and play Xbox. And I guess that's worse, I don't know. So if you want a successful potluck, then you got to contribute, but you're tempted not to contribute. If nobody contributes, then there's no potluck, yada, yada, yada. So all of these examples describe situations where individual and collective interests are at odds, right? In all of these cases, your narrow selfish interests would lead you not to contribute, right? To litter, not go to the public protest, not donate to charity, not bring brownies to the potluck. Everybody brings brownies, by the way. It's like this disaster of brownies. So that's your narrow self-interest. Now, I'm not saying that's what you would do, but if we were to isolate your narrow self-interest, that's what it would be. But then the collective interest is at odds with that, right? When does the group do best? The group does best when we don't litter, when we do have the public protest that the group values, when we do donate to the charity that the group values, when we do successfully sustain a potluck. And sociologists are very interested in situations like these, and social scientists in general are very interested in situations like these where individual and collective interests are at odds. So yes, this is just me saying that again. The problem is everyone yields to the temptation to be selfish and collective action fails. The potluck will suck, the Katrina relief will be inadequate, littering's a big problem, the protest goes unattended. And the reason that social scientists are so interested in these specific kinds of cases, or this class of situations, is because it cuts to this fundamental question, this fundamental tension between individual and collective interests. A fundamental question that was isolated by Thomas Hobbes in his book The Leviathan, where he said that in the state of nature, everyone is selfish, and the result is a world that is nasty, brutish, cruel, and short, or something like that. And so if you're in a state of nature and everybody's pursuing their narrow self-interest, no one's caring about the collective interest, nobody's getting to the group at all, then it would seem impossible for us to ever provide the collective action, the public goods. We'll never have society. I think it's funny, by the way, he says it's like nasty, brutish, cruel, and short, as though you'd like some longer life in a state of nature or something. It's short. Nasty, brutish, cruel, and short. So it reminds me of that Woody Allen joke about the two women in the restaurant that are like, oh man, the food here is so awful, and the other one's like, I know, in such small portions. It's a Woody Allen joke. So the Hobbesian state of nature is sort of crystallizes the scenario of what happens when we all pursue our narrow self-interest. And what you get is no society. And so that's why people are interested in the collective action problem. Because the collective action problem kind of isolates the question of why society? Why do people even come together in groups to begin with? Why is it that we're social animals? Why is it instead that we're not trapped in that state of nature? You had a question? Right. Okay. So yeah, the question is this a very strange conceptualization of the individual? Don't we see that people aren't narrowly self-interested? They aren't just atomized, isolated individuals. They do care about people. They do have relationships. They do have social goals, social values, and indeed they're not just self-interested, right? And in light of that, these are very strange dilemmas. But what I want to convince you of is that these dilemmas are strange, and they are theoretical inventions. The collective action problem and other related social dilemmas, the problem of the state of nature, the question I posed to you of why society, why does society even happen? I can see readily they're very strange questions because, and why they're strange because we see them solved readily in everyday life. We see people overcome their individual interests and bring brownies to the potluck, and bring more brownies to the potluck, and bring like peanut butter. We see people give to charities. We see people attend public protests. We see society happen all the time. That's all we see, right? And I would argue that it's useful, though, to set up the question of, why does that happen? To not settle for, yes, we are narrowly individually self-interested and atomized individuals, but instead say, why is it we're not like that? What is it? Is it something about human nature that leads us to sustain collective action successfully? Is it something about culture? Is it something about evolution? What is it? Is it all that stuff? And so I think, in a way, it's a good counterfactual, they would say. We know the world isn't like this, so why isn't it? Okay, so why is it that people overcome their temptation to be selfish and opt instead to give to the group? And one answer that I was interested in investigating during my dissertation research when I was a graduate student was perhaps one of the ways we overcome self-interest is because we're interested in status. We want to be respected by the people around us. We're concerned about being a valued member of groups. We want to get respect, and we want to pursue that respect. And we know that if you just pursue narrow self-interest, if you never go to the protest, but you give them lip service about how you value their public goods, if you don't ever give any money or help out your favorite political candidates, but you do say that you support them, if you never bring food to those potlucks and those two guys that just eat all the dessert, then you're not going to get much respect, right? And maybe that concern for respect is part of what keeps us in groups pursuing social ends, So what I argued is that giving to the group indicates generosity and concern for others, and we value generosity and concern for others and accord respect to those who exhibit that trait. And recall Nietzsche's ideas about virtue here, right? He said that in ancient Rome, what was virtuous, what was considered good about an individual, what we respected about people was when they were powerful and strong and successful, and in a sense, self-empowered, self-interested, right? But what we respect after the rise of Judeo-Christian ethics is more generosity, self-sacrifice for the group, and so on. And I was influenced by these readings and was interested in systematically testing what you might call Nietzsche's solution to the collective action problem. So in order to do this, I set up a very, very artificial experiment. It kind of isolated the basic incentive structure of the collective action problem in an artificial setting, which should be familiar to some of you because I have graduate students who did follow-up research on this semester, and some of you participated in the study that he was running. So in the studies that I ran when I was a graduate student at Cornell University, I set up a collective action or group task situation where everyone was given an endowment of resources that they could contribute to some group, or they could keep it. They could keep the resources and free ride on the other people's contributions. And the rules of the game went as follows. Everyone had an endowment of $5, and on each round they could invest some of that money in a pool. If they did invest in the pool, then that money would be doubled and then split equally amongst everyone. If they didn't invest in the pool, they could keep whatever they didn't invest and then also get their share of the pool. So do you understand? Well, there's no research to understand this yet. Here's the incentives that sets up. If everybody's narrowly self-interested, then they won't invest anything in the pool, right? You won't give anything to the group because it's just going to benefit other people and you only get a fraction of it back. But what happens then? If nobody overcomes their self-interest and gives to this central pool, then as a result, everybody leaves with that same $5 endowment they started with. But if instead people overcome their self-interest and do give to the group, then that everybody's $5 goes into the central pool, it gets doubled and then split equally amongst everyone, and everybody goes home with twice what they started with. And so everybody's better off. But if you were really crafty and self-interested, you'd still prefer not to give, right? Because if you don't give, then you keep your $5, everybody else gives, it gets doubled, and then you get your share of that, right? So you get the most money if you don't give and everybody else does. That's why you'd like to be that guy at the potluck eating brownies but didn't have to spend morning cooking. That would be the ideal. Well, if you're narrowly self-interested. So this is the way it works. This is the setup. It's, everyone's tempted to free ride based on some sort of self-interest motive, but if everybody pursues that self-interest motive, then the group is worse off, and everybody says, oh, I wish we had all just contributed. Can you make that guy up? He's missing college. Thank you. Welcome back, sir. So, he's not happy. Okay. So the results of this study were the following. Those who gave more to the group, this is the question, right? If you give more to the group, you'd be more respected. And those who gave more to the group were more respected. They were seen as higher status. We had people rate the status of high and low contributors. And they also had more influence in a subsequent group task. They were given more resources when people were given a chance to be altruistic towards them. And they were cooperated with more in cooperation situations later. So if the question is, why is it that you would overcome your narrow self-interest and contribute to the group? Well, one answer is, it would actually pay. You'd actually be better off, You would actually be respected more. You'd have more influence in the group. You'd be allocated more resources and future opportunities. People would cooperate with you more. They like you more. I mean, why is it that you bring something to the potluck? Well, one of the reasons is it makes pretty damn good sense to bring something to the potluck. You'll be liked, respected, cooperated with, treated altruistically, and you'll have influence over others. Yes, it will cost you a little bit of time, effort, resources, what have you, but you get to be accepted into groups as a result. In study B, I did a follow-up study as well, and it was the exact same study, except after people gave their ratings of what they thought of all the contributors in the group, what they thought about the people who gave a lot and the people who didn't give much when put in this collective action situation. After that, I gave the subjects in the study real feedback, well, false feedback that we say believed to be real, on what everybody thought of them. So we say, okay, what do you think, about these high contributors, these low contributors, these people who contribute in the middle, how much do you respect them? And people said, well, I respect the high contributors, I don't respect the low contributors, they didn't overcome their self-interest, they're jerks, and bring anything to the potluck. And then I say, okay, here's what these people thought of you. And half the time they were told that the other group members had respected them at a very high level, that they were very respected by the group, and half the time they were told, nah, people didn't respect you very much, actually. And then I said, now let's do some more of this collective action situation. Let's have a few more opportunities for you to contribute to the group, or not. And what I found was that when participants got feedback that indicated that other people respected them, they tended to give more in the group after that. They also identified with the group more, and they saw the group as having more solidarity and being more cohesive. So this is sort of me trying to figure out what are the effects of respect, right? Like I'm telling you that contributions to the group earn individuals respect. Well, what does that do? What's the result? Does that solve the collective action problem? Does that lead people? Does that motivate people to give more to the group subsequently? Well, it does. It does. If you overcome your self-interest and give to the group, you'll probably find that people will respect you afterwards. And having received that respect, you'll then be more motivated to help the group. You'll make bigger contributions to the group, and you'll like the group more. You'll identify with it, perceive it as having solidarity, and so on. And so this sort of highlights a virtuous cycle where giving leads to respect, which leads to more giving. And maybe this cycle is part of what explains how we overcome the collective action problem. That we give to the group at time one for some reason, perhaps we anticipate respect, perhaps some other motivation of ours. This is not the only reason people give to groups. But then having given, we give respect, and that respect propels our future policy contributions to group efforts. This, I don't think we really have time, but this is this is a path diagram from the paper. But basically, this traces the logic of the argument. That individuals make collective action contributions. This leads to perceptions by other group members that the person is motivated to help the group, that they're high in group motivation. Then, in turn, that leads to higher status standing. So you see people contribute, you assume they're motivated to help the group. Then you hold in higher esteem in the group. That higher status standing leads the individual to have more influence over others and also receive more cooperation and altruistic gifts from group members. Then it leads to expressions of respect as well. Those expressions of respect, in turn, increase the individual's motivation to help the group. And then that motivation actually leads to further collective action contributions, leading to a virtuous cycle. It looks like that. Any questions about this? Okay. And to kind of drive home the point, I want to highlight the larger takeaway here and reconnect this to the question of why society. Why is it that we do overcome narrow self-interest to achieve society? Why does society ever even happen? And how many of you have read Jean-Paul Sartre's play No Exit? Okay. So do you remember the most famous quote from No Exit, or what the big takeaway of that play is? Yes. Exactly. Hell is other people. And which is a pretty, uplifting story, main takeaway. I mean, this is a fun play, Hell is other people. And what Sartre's talking about is that nobody can get to you, can get under your skin, can torment you as much as other people. Because by nature, you're a social animal. And if you were to find yourself in hell, should it exist and should you wind up there, that hell is going to be hellish to you because of social reasons. Because nobody can get to you the way other people can. Maybe you'd like to just decide one day to be happy, or to be content, or to have high self-esteem, or to be confident, or achieve your goals. But you can't just decide to do that because you're embedded in a larger society, a series of situations, a bunch of relationships, and all of those things, your self-esteem, your happiness, and so on, are socially created. They're created by you in conjunction with people around you, and the only route that you could find to the things that you want would have to be social routes. You would have to work with the people around you to make yourself higher in self-esteem, have good relationships, be happy, be confident, and so on. So start saying that which torments you is probably social. And he has this whole story about people finding themselves in hell and finding themselves in a very social hell. But one of the biggest things that he's highlighting here is that we as human beings have a fundamental regard for what other people think of us. And this is an idea that shouldn't be new to you as sociologists, right? Like George Herbert Mead talks about this when he talks about the generalized other. Charles Horton Cooley talks about this when he talks about the looking glass self. He says we find out who we are by looking at others and seeing them see us, and that's how we figure out who we are. Or Freud talks about this with the superego, that society, the society that kind of hangs around your head. Or Foucault's panopticon. These are all versions of the idea that you can't have a pure self-regard. You can't see yourself purely the way you would want to. Instead, society is in your head. And I think I told you earlier that example of, when you, that one time I sat down in my chair in my office and missed the chair and like fell on my ass, And I actually blushed, I got not just embarrassed, but I physically blushed. And there was nobody there, nobody saw it except me, but I was seeing myself through other people's eyes. And try to go home tonight and dance just as silly, ridiculously as possible in front of a mirror and see if you can do it. Like, you can't do it, You can't do it. I mean, some of you can do it more than others. Certainly all of you do it more than me. But you'll be judging yourself. You'll be seeing yourself. You'll be embarrassed, even though there's no one there, right? And shut the blind. I advise you do. Shut the curtains, and you can't do it. You can't ever get society out of your head. And in that way, we're tormented, right? Socially, we're tormented. Other people are in our heads. We can't get them out, and we're pursued by other people's regard for us. But I argue here that at the end of that pursuit, we find ourselves in groups with the potential for communion with others, with the potential for solidarity with others, with the potential to achieve and create society. And so while there's this obvious downside that hell is other people, that people are in your head, and you can't just have your own perspective on yourself, that you're always seeing it through the lens of other people's perspective, and if society can't be gotten out, that it's also the case that in a way heaven is sort of other people, because that torment drives you into social settings that are the source of happiness, solidarity, cooperation, productivity, and all of society. And that would be a sort of social contract, a contract you sort of sign with yourself when you're born with its fundamental social nature, and a very sociological social contract. So, some general conclusions about status. So that isn't general enough. We should be more general than that. Status hierarchies are relative. You may be a certain status standing in this room, and you'll walk into another room, and you'll be a different status standing. With your family, you have a different status standing. In your apartment, you have a different one, and so on. Status hierarchies are relative. And the same person with the same traits could be high or low or middle status in different settings. The power of the situation again, right? Also, status standing is based on both meritorious characteristics, but also bases of discrimination. So we respect people in part because of maybe how honest they are, how generous they are, but we also respect people for the wrong reasons, like what their gender is and what their race is. Status characteristics are culturally determined. This was Nietzsche's idea, right? That across time and history and cultures, people respect different things about people. In ancient Rome, we respected different things about people than we do now. And indeed, we respect different things about people now than we did 4 years ago. And it's going to be different again in 40 more years. Status has many effects on how individuals are perceived and treated. People with higher status are allocated more chances to speak, they have more influence, and so on. Status leads to discrimination. That's one of the things status leads to. Higher status people are treated better in society than lower status people. But, and this is the research I highlighted in Status Study 4, status is also earned for generous behavior, for pro-social behavior, for giving to the community and transcending self-interest, overcoming narrow self-interest, and being a pro-community person. And then that might be part of the fundamental social fabric that helps us come together in groups in pursuit of respect and positive regard from the people that we care about. So status in this way has good and bad effects that we should be mindful of, and so we should be careful to resist status's bad effects, the discriminatory effects that it can have, and be careful to evaluate individuals as individuals, and not simply in terms of their status positions or diffuse characteristics they have, like race and gender and sexual orientation and so on, or age or what have you, or attractiveness, and judge on those. We should try to transcend that and judge them as individuals. But also, we should take advantage of the good parts of status to make society and groups that we inhabit run well. And that means being sure that you do give credit where credit's due. When you see pro-social behaviors or generous behaviors that you value, where people give to ends that you value, where people give to groups that you inhabit, that you benefit from, you should be careful to give them proper respect for overcoming their self-interest and giving to these groups that you're concerned about. Okay, so now let's take a couple-minute break. We'll pass out the review for the second exam, and we'll regroup and do the review. Thanks.